Welcome back to my channel, folks. So this is a Master Duel ladder climb, but with Archfiends only. Of course, we are adorning the Archfiend Palabyrinth field. So we set a bunch of cards and summon Dark Spirit of Malice. This hand was clearly not very good, but we do have a sort of lock in place. So it looks like they're playing a Blue Eyes deck. So we'll Fiend Griefing whatever they discarded, and then we'll send, most likely, a Vice King Requiem into the graveyard. So straight away, we have a DDD lock on our hands. They've added Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, which is pretty good. It seems like we're not going to preempt anything. We're just going to let them summon. Oh, it looks like it's a Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon deck, everybody. They're going to activate the Ritual spell, and of course, at that point in time, we're going to stop this madness from happening, and we're going to put Vice King Requiem onto their side of the field, locking them into DDD monsters. They have nothing else to do now but attack, and then attack directly for a bunch of damage. And it seems like, yeah, that's literally all they can do. So they're going to end their turn. Are we going to top deck what we need? Yeah, Tour Guide, perfect. So we'll summon that, activate Tour Guide's effect, summon Fiendish Rhino Warrior, link them both off into Muckraker from the Underworld. Fiendish Rhino Warrior, send Heiress, get an Heiress search, which is pretty decent. Bring Glitch into our hand, that's always nice. And then we're going to revive Fiendish Rhino Warrior so that we get an extra mill when it gets sent to the graveyard. And then we're going to use Staff of Despair just for a bit of extra damage. You know, why not? And then main phase 2, I reckon we'll set that glitch. Make sure it's not in the Imperm column if that's what it is. And then it's going to be their turn. So they have Requiem. They can crash it. They can attack. But we're going to use Glitch. We're going to pop their Blue Eyes. And then we're going to send Archfiend Empress to recycle both of the Dark Spirits back into our hand. Since it's the damage step, we'll use Dark Spirit of Banishment, revive the Empress, sort of like keep everything on the field because of the Fiendish Rhino Warrior, which is always nice. And now it's our turn. So we have Berserk Dragon, which is not good. But we'll link everything off into Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. We'll get some Dark Spirit recycles, and then we'll also get Fiendish Rhino Warrior, and then they just surrender at that point. So game 1 to Archfiends. Alright, so game 2, everybody. We didn't do much, we just set 4, summoned Dark Spirit of Banishment, and then we passed. And we're against a Blackwing deck, and looks like they bricked as well. So there you go, that's always nice. Top decking Tour Guide for the second game in a row. It's pretty decent. So into Fiendish Rhino Warrior. That's going to go into Master King Archfiend. Most likely we're going to get an Heiress recycle, and then we're going to use Unending Nightmare to pop their card. That's a 1000 life points deduction, which means Master King Archfiend will get its Fiend Milling effect as well. So now basically we're going to recycle all sorts of things by using the dice roll. So Master King rolled a 4, put Heiress straight back into the deck. Heiress is going to search out Ghastly Glitch, and then we get to attack. Their card, I don't think, does anything at this particular point in time. And then, you know, it's still pretty decent, unless, of course, they have a Harpy's Feather Duster. We seem to be relatively in the clear, everyone. So they're going to summon a bunch of cards, and then we're going to try and pop one of them at least, but they're going to use Swallow's Nest to tribute it. And then at that point in time, to stop them from summoning anything, we're going to use Give and Take, and also chain Give and Take with Unending Nightmare. So we're going to lock them into DDDs, and then we are also going to send stuff. We're going to use Master King to recycle the Heiress that we just milled. And the really nice thing about Unending Nightmare is because it is a continuous trap card, we can basically pay 1000 life points whenever we like. We can chain it to our normal trap activations, which means we get a free mill, we get a free like Farther Banish or an Heiress search, whatever it might be. And so we used Archfiend Heiress at that point to search for Deal with Dark Ruler. We can use Fiend Griefing, and just as I say, pay 1000 life points onto the Fiend Griefing. So now we get to mill. We also get to spin a card back into their deck, and then we also get a Master King mill at the same time. So Heiress Chainlink 1, Master King Chainlink 2, and then Chainlink 3 is the extra Master King effect that we've got here. So that's all going to resolve. We're going to send a Farther. And if you've seen my previous video, you'll know that Farther is incredibly good because we can banish the Vice King Requiem, which means we get it off the field, we can deal some damage, and then at the end of the turn, we relock them into DDDs once more. Recycle both the Heiress and the Farther back into the deck. We're going to summon Archfiend Emperor, use its effect just to destroy some extra stuff. Link both of those off into Muckraker. Then use Deal with Dark Ruler, put Berserk Dragon onto our side of the field, and then we can also now revive our Archfiend Emperor. Because we use Deal with Dark Ruler, we can use Emperor's effect to get rid of that for an extra pop, which is cool. So that's most likely what we're going to do now. Yep, target their back row, make sure we get rid of all of that, and then we practically swing for game at this point. So not that they could do much because of the DDD lock, but that is game 2 to Archfiends. So it's going well, people. I have to say, I really like the Archfiend field that we have. They could have gone for a couple of more animations, to be honest, but it's what it is. So they have Vion, we have Infinite Impermanence, just to stop that right in its tracks. I always feel like if you're against heroes, they have a ton of extenders, but if you hit the Vion, that can really hurt them, unless, of course, they've got like Mask Change or something. We're going to top deck Tour Guide for the 3rd game in a row and it hasn't been ashed at all. It's a thing of beauty, folks. So we're going to link both of those off into Master King Archfiend, and then we're going to use Fiendish Rhino Warrior. Basically, we're doing this because we have give and take. I should have gone into Muckraker instead, because we have no monster on our side of the field to lock them at all, so I kind of misplayed horrendously, but it's okay. Let's see what we can do. So Infinite Impermanence, just try and stop their Neospace Connector. They're going to use Super Polymerization, which is absolutely disgusting. So what's that going to get? So Super Poly is going to bring both of their monsters. Super Poly that into Brave Neos, so we've got a Duel Links player, everyone. Their connector is going to bring another Neos onto their side of the field, which is fine. Trap Trick and Unending Nightmare. May as well, at this point, use the effect, destroy the Trap Trick so that we get a free Master King Mill. And then we're going to put Ghastly Glitch onto our side of the field, so we can sort of bring it back, you know, it's not horrendous. So Heiress is going to go into the graveyard, Chainlink 1, Chaining 2 Master King to stop it from being, you know, interrupted. Master King is going to roll the dice, it's going to be a 6. As luck would have it, we're going to search for Archfiend Emperor, and then we're also going to destroy their Brave Neos and use Unending Nightmare again to get a second Master King Mill in the same turn. So Glitch is going to try and pop it. Neos Fusion, of course, is going to protect the Brave Neos. So we're going to, basically, we're forced to use Farfa to banish it until the end of the turn. But it's all good because Master King will just pop it back into the deck anyway, you know. So yeah, we rolled a 5, goes back in, Farfa banishes it. And then they can't do anything. Our turn, people. So Farfa plonks Brave Neos back onto their side of the field. We pay 500 life points, and then we normal summon Archfiend Emperor, which means it will get destroyed at the end of the turn, and then we destroy Brave Neos, and then give and take, because we're not going to win right now, are we? So we're just going to put Vice King Requiem onto their side of the field, just to kind of block them a little bit, whilst we bring enough resources to stop them. So we get rid of Archfiend Heiress. Heiress is going to search. Master King, this is the running joke of the whole series, you know, Master King is going to chain block everything. It's going to get its effect as many times as it likes. Then we're going to bring Archfiend Empress into the hand, link off into Muckraker, and then we're going to just recycle the Heiress once again. And then we're basically bringing Empress so that we can discard it. So we'll bring Emperor back out. We don't really have anything that we can pop with. So we're just going to attack, set the Fiend's Griefing, and then end our turn. What can they do? They're locked into DDD monsters, people. But they're going to swing it into attack mode. We're going to use Fiend Griefing, banish, and then we use Unending Nightmare to chain the Fiend Griefing. It's such a nice interaction. So you just pop that, you spin their card, send a Dark Spirit of Banishment, and then we can just send all this other stuff, right? So we just get rid of Farfa, and we chain block it as well. So it's not as if they can interrupt. But anyway, they surrendered. So that's game 3 to Archfiends. Alrighty, people. So again, we have Tour Guide, but do we want to go into Cartesia first? I feel like it's just better. So use that to get rid of the Heiress. That is going to go into Grand Guignol, and we have Imperm and Ghastly Glitch, so it's actually a pretty good field that we have here. So we're going to mill. Is it going to be Requiem? No, it's going to be Archfiend Empress, that's fine. Then Heiress is going to search for a second Ghastly Glitch. So now we can pop 2, and it's probably going to be a Dark Spirit of Banishment situation, you know? They're going to summon... Oh, is it a Swordsoul deck? Or is it an Alvaz deck? Yeah, Swordsoul. Oh, check this out. I remember this. So Swordsoul is going to search for a card. We're going to bring Quiritus onto our side of the field. Swordsoul basically just doesn't have a very good day with this particular turn. So they're going to summon a token. I'm going to just destroy it because I don't want them summoning Qishao. They're going to use Swordsoul Emergence to bring Long One, if I pronounce that right, onto their hand. Taya is going to activate. I'm going to imperm that. We basically try and get rid of as many opportunities for them to synchro summon as humanly possible. So yeah, stop the Taya. Now they're going to summon, I'm guessing, either Cheng Ying or Baron, but we have our other Ghastly Glitch. Get rid of their card, and we're going to get rid of Farfa to banish their other tuner. So now they have no choice but to link into Shaman of the Tenyi. That's kind of all they have going for them. And then they just surrendered from then on out. So yeah, that was really brutal. Slowly making it up the ranked ladders, people. Now, it looks like we don't have Tour Guide this time. So they're using one of my favorite cards. It's such a cool card. I love this artwork. Dark Magic Curtain. It's not a very good card. I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell you that for free. So you pay half your life points, you summon Dark Magician, and then you can't summon anything else. But it's all good. It seems they've got the quick play, which I wish Archfiends had, so they can fusion summon, or I think it's ritual summon, and it's just lovely. So they're going to summon the Dark Magicians, which is a really good card. So when it gets destroyed, it floats into Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician. We kind of had nothing here, so we're just going to imperm to stop the dark magical circle, just to make sure that they can't get their searches, and also to make sure they can't banish anything. And because we negated their dark magicians, they also can't chain with anything else. So they can use Monster Reborn. That is going to revive Dark Magician. Why not? It's just Dark Magician beat down people. And then they're going to try and banish, but of course it's the imperm column, so nothing really happens. And then we're just going to basically eat some damage, is what it is. So Archfiend Heiress is going to search for Ghastly Glitch. As you can see, we've kind of got a lock set up here, but that doesn't really help because we need to make sure we have enough firepower. But we do have Deal with Dark Ruler, so we're going to basically get rid of their monster for Radiant, which means they don't get their Dark Magician's float, which is cool. And then we will put Give and Take our own Heiress onto their side of the field to get a free search. So that's like the nice thing. If we don't have the lock, we can still get searches. We have 2 glitches and we have a Deal with Dark Ruler, so things are looking up. They have Piercing the Darkness, which again, incredibly cool card, but it's, you know, it's not the best thing in the world, particularly if we have 2 pops on outside of the field. So they're just going to rank into Ebon and we're going to destroy it immediately, and then we're going to send a Dark Spirit of Banishment, then we're going to send an Heiress, and Heiress is going to search, and then Give and Take is going to put Heiress onto their side of the field so that we get a 3rd search when it's our turn. Because basically, what's the point in locking them at this point in time, especially when they've only got 4,000 life points, you know, we can kind of end the game. So we top decked something awful, but we're going to normal summon Emperor. We're going to, you know, pop Heiress. Heiress is going to search for Archfiend Staff of Despair. That's nothing really, I don't really have anything. And then we're going to attack for a bunch of damage, I guess. So get rid of Archfiend Emperor using Lilith's effect, and then we can put whatever we want onto our side of the field, recycle the Dark Spirit, and then we're going to finish them off with a Deal with Dark Ruler, because we tributed the Archfiend Emperor. So we summon Berserk Archfiend in the battle phase. Love the fact that it's a quick play. And then we just attack directly for 3,500. We have our Pot of Greed mate here against their like instant fusion cup. It's got a sort of green look to it. I don't know if that's dirty water or if it's matcha, but you know. So anyway, Tides of the Brethren, we're going to put Lilith and Dark Spirit Banishment onto our side of the field. Wasn't the best hand in the world. Being able to special summon Farfa is not the nicest thing. But we have Rhino Warrior, we have Give and Take, we have Fiend Griefing, which means we can lock them if we need to. They summoned 2 monsters and that was it. But here we've got a Archfiend Staff of Despair. That's going to reduce their attacks, but I'm going to attack the other one anyway, you know, it's what it is. And then we'll use Fiend Griefing to spin that back into the deck. And then we'll also use Trap Trick at this point in time to get rid of a trap from our decks, probably Glitch, yep. Set that onto our side of the field, and then Griefing is going to spin it, and then we're going to send Archfiend Heiress to get a search. We're going to bring Archfiend Emperor into the hand, and that's going to let us lock them into Fiends should we need to, so we may as well pop probably their back row. Yeah, Numeron Creation, not bad card. Master King Archfiend onto our side of the field. Rhino Warrior gets a free mill, and then Dark Spirit of Management gets to recycle itself. So we're also setting ourselves up quite nicely for a sort of like protective wall if we need to. And then we also have Requiem, so we have the choice now of locking them into Fiends or locking them into DDD monsters effectively. So we've got Glitch, may as well destroy their monster, and use Unending Nightmare, so you've seen this all before. Nice interactions here, we can pop, we can search, we can banish, whatever we might want to do. Torbus, interesting tech. So because we used Farfa years ago, Torbus has a mandatory effect. When it hits the graveyard, it puts a card from either graveyard back into the deck, I believe. We use that because if we have to preemptively get rid of anything, we'll just send Torbus and then put it back in. And then that way we can reuse it in future turns. And now we're going to use Master King to chain block the old Heiress here. It was a 1, so now we get to add it to our hand, which is always cool. And it seems like it's our turn now, so we drew an Ash Blossom, which is, you know, is what it is. And it looks like we're going to pretty much take control of the game from here on out. So Torbus once again, putting the Rhino Warrior back into our deck. Master King is going to chain block it. Which dice roll is it going to be? People with 4, yeah, putting it back into the deck. It's always good. I love the fact that the main thing here is 2, 3, 4, 5 shuffle into the deck, right? Whereas most people, when Master King first came out, it was like, oh, 6 is the only good one. But that's not true. You want things to go back into your deck so that you can use it over and over again. I think it was at this point in time where I started to tweak my deck ever so slightly. So there are some things that I've adjusted, and you'll see it as time goes on. But we have Lilith into Tides of the Brethren. Pretty much the starters are either Tour Guide or Tides of the Brethren. Tides is also good with Tour Guide, so if Tour Guide gets ashed, you can at least play more than just ending your turn. Unfortunately, there's a lot of good Archfiend cards that just aren't in Master Duel. Oh my goodness me, so card destruction with a Dark World deck. is pretty painful. So this is a danger Dark World deck. They're going to kind of discard for days, try to destroy things. They're going to try and force, I guess, a Lilith interaction here. So we've got Chainlink 6, Chainlink 5 Banishment, Chainlink 6 Lilith, and we're going to do anything else? Yep. Chainlink 7 Trap Trick, that's what I'm talking about, people. Chainlink 8 Unending Nightmare. I think I just did that because I just wanted to see how far I could push those Chainlinks. So Unending Nightmare is likely going to destroy Dark World Archives. I should have done that ages ago, but you know. And we put Give and Take onto our side of the field so we can lock them if we need to. And I believe Requiem was in our hand, so that card destruction actually helped us immensely because Emperor is not going to stop them. Okay, so we set Impermanence, why not, and Give and Take's the main one. They have a Genta, and this is also a bit of a misplay here on my part. So they got rid of Genta to bring Gates of Dark World, and then they're going to use Gates of Dark World to, you know, draw or whatever. And here I am just not using Unending Nightmare at all. I think I just thought that the discard was the bit that happened first, but you know, whatever. Now they're going to try and activate stuff, and now I'm going to try and interrupt with Unending Nightmare. I've woken up, basically. So Genta is going to summon itself. Archives is not going to activate because it's a continuous, and then they're going to bring Danger Thunderbird onto their side of the field. I'm trying to anticipate a Grapha or like a normal summon, because if I put the Requiem onto their side of the field early, they could just trip you over it, you know. But I'm kind of forced to do it now, so I've put it on, locking them into DDDs. So now I realize, oh yeah, Gates of Dark World has a cost. So they're going to activate that now, banish the Genta, I suppose. Oh, the snow. And then I use Unending Nightmare to pop it finally to stop them from desperately trying to sift through their deck for like a Grapha or something else. Danger Chupacabra is going to discard Brow to get a little draw going on there. And then they're going to normal summon Salamander, so they realize they couldn't bring anything else, so they're just going to recycle their second Salamander, and then I guess attack for 2800. We'll use Dark Spirit of Banishment here, summoning Archfiend Emperor to circumnavigate that, you know, change the attack, and now we're in a pretty good spot. So after all of those shenanigans, we have Emperor on our side of the field, we have an Imperm, it's pretty good, and then they're going to use Eradicator. Ooh, here we go. So they're going to select Traps, which is actually disgusting, but it's fine. So Tour Guide into Farfa, link all of them off into Blackluster Soldier, and it used a level 7 or higher, so now it's kind of protected from a bunch of things. Farfa is going to banish, and then Malice and Dark Spirit of Banishment are going to recycle themselves, which is always good. It was quite a good thing using Eradicator to get over Requiem, so it stopped them for one turn, but now they're basically at full power once again, you know. So I chose, when I destroyed their monster, to increase my Blackluster Soldier's attack, and that was important because I just know they're going to summon the Fusion Grapha, and that has like, what, 3200 or 3500. So I just basically made sure that they couldn't run over it. We have Blackluster Soldier that is protected by card effects, and it can't be destroyed, and it also basically can't be destroyed by battle. So they're going to use Dark World Accession, summoning Overlord. Yeah, there you go, 3200. Use Dugares to draw a few cards as well. They can't do anything, so they have to end their turn. Right, our turn, people. So we've got Give and Take, immediately blown up by Eradicator Epidemic Virus. It's really strong. We don't want them to summon Grapha. I'm just going to destroy Bigfoot, and then we're going to change its effect so we can attack twice next turn. Linking a bunch of monsters off into Muckraker. Muckraker is going to discard Ash Blossom. Okay, so they really have nothing left. And they've got Lucent, and then they're going to bring the Dark World Fusion Quick Play back into their hand. Grapha can't destroy anything because I can't be targeted. So there you go. But anyway, they're going to summon, what, a second Grapha? Not that it matters. I actually remember this. This is really ridiculous. So Muckraker has an effect that if you attack and destroy something, it can just tribute another fiend to protect that one. And then I attack, and then they tribute a monster to keep Muckraker alive. No, I just attack Muckraker again. It's ridiculous. All right, so as you can see, we've got Blazing Cartesia here. So my deck has modified slightly now that I've gone up a rank or two. So we're going to use Cartesia and Archfiend Empress to fusion into Grand Guignol. The nice thing about this card is that it can mill monsters from the deck, level 6 or higher, light or darks, right? So we just put Vice King Requiem directly into the graveyard. But having said that, we've bricked completely otherwise, so we have nothing else going for us, and we're against some sort of Blackluster Soldier deck. So they're going to Ritual Summon Super Soldier, and it has about 1 million effects. So it has the beginning Knight's effects, and then it also has its own sort of banishing effects here, right? So they already banished one of our monsters. I'm going to smack for a bunch of damage, and then Envoy is going to banish some cards to recycle it itself back into the hand. Got a pretty good effect. We need to somehow get over that. Blackluster Soldier isn't really protected by much, so long as we get rid of it, and probably Chaos Zone, we should be fine. Top deck in the tour guide there, it's always nice. So that is going to summon Farfa as well. So now we get to banish, and I think we're just going to target the Blackluster Soldier just to get it off the field momentarily. And then I assume that means it no longer has the effects it had when it was originally ritual summoned, but I could be wrong. Anyway, we're going to use Fiendish Rhino Warrior to mill an heiress, which is going to search for Ghastly Glitch, and that will get rid of the Blackluster Soldier on the following turn. And of course, as all Yu-Gi-Oh players do, I didn't read, I attacked, Envoy of Chaos just bumped up the damage a bit there, but we still have Archfiend Empress, we have a Ghastly Glitch, and we're going to destroy their monster, getting rid of Heiress to get a free search, and then Super Soldier's effect also is going to activate, which means it can special summon a guy at the Fierce Knight, but that shouldn't matter too much, because we're going to bring Deal with Dark Ruler, which means next turn we're going to try and basically go for game here, you know. They swapped my monster into defense mode, and they didn't bother attacking. I don't really know why. I think maybe they didn't want me to float, so because that's a threat apparently. But we're going to have Archfiend Emperor. We're going to attack their monsters, and we're going to attack directly. I did think about crashing and then going into Berserk, but it just wouldn't have been enough damage. So instead, we'll just let our Dark Spirit recycle itself, and then we go on to their turn. I really like the concept of Dark Spirits. It's like this ghost that possesses your monster, and then the spirit kind of gets like released when it gets destroyed in order to possess another monster, you know. Anyway, link those off into Master King, basically just to make Deal with Dark Ruler lives, which attack for 2000. I don't know what their face down is, but it doesn't matter, because we're going to go into Berserk, Archfiend, and attack directly for 3500. I see everyone seems to be obsessed with the God card, you know, the Slife of the Sky Dragon field. It is really cool, to be fair. They're rocking a Blue Eyes White Dragon, that's pretty cool. And we've got Heiress face down. This is a really terrible hand, but it's macro heavy, so it's not, you know, it's not horrendous. We have 2 Imperm, so that's quite nice. And then we have Unending Nightmare and Fiend Griefing. They have the Magician's Souls package and setting 3 in passing, so I'm assuming they've got probably either Magician's Navigation or Magician's Eternal Soul, that's the one. And they're going to summon Dark Magician onto their side of the field. And what we're going to do, we're going to activate Unending Nightmare, pay 1000. I think this is like the epitome of not reading. They're like, oh, Infinite Impermanence, I'm going to negate their Unending Nightmare. Except you can't, because Unending Nightmare is a trap card. Anyway, attack for Heiress for 1000 damage on their turn. What they're going to do. Magician of Chaos, once again, they're going to do that, you know, for quite a few turns in a row. And they're going to summon Magician's Rod. We're going to activate our own Imperm. So if they kept it, they could have at least stopped my one. But, you know, it's fine. So negate their Magician's Rod. They're going to attack. We're going to use Fiend Griefing, and they're going to Ash it, which was a very good call, because I would have sent a level 8 or higher, probably Empress, into the graveyard, and then I would have gone straight into Dark Spirit of Banishment, because there wouldn't have been a replay. But we still get an Heiress search, and that's going to bring Archfiend Emperor into the hand. What we're going to do now? So we have Vice King Requiem, that's a really bad top deck, but we're going to use Emperor's effect to pop their back row Dark Magic attack, not too bad. And then we'll just let it die, basically. So they're going to use Magician of Chaos again, try and go for another Magician's Rod activation. We have our second Imperm, which is always good. And they're going to try and smack us for a bunch of damage, but Dark Spirit Banishment, bring in Emperor onto our side of the field, not too bad. So our turn, what's it going to be? We're going to top deck a Branded in High Spirits. We're going to activate it, getting rid of Requiem, getting rid of Quiritus to bring Ecclesia, and then Banishment will recycle itself. And then are we going to summon? No, we're not. I don't know why, because in main phase 2, I think I literally summon it. Yeah, so that's just a waste of damage. It's fine. Misplays happen. A third Magician's Rod, so it's happening, people. They're going to bring Magician's Salvation, but I have Unending Nightmare, so it doesn't matter. They're going to go into Magistus Moon Maiden, which was a very unlucky call, because we just go into Mirror Jade off the back of that. And then, of course, it's game over from there. You know, when I play Yu-Gi-Oh, I like nothing more than drawing all 3 Tour Guide of the Underworlds. So the only thing I can do is normal summon 1 and hope for the best. But it looks like we at least got it off. So we summoned Tour Guide into Rhino Warrior and Dark Spirit Banishment. Cherubini is going to get rid of Empress. And then we're going to put Dark Spirit Banishment into our hand. So at least, unless they negate it, we have a sort of wall to protect our life points. Oh, it's horrible though. We have Nibiru though, and they're gonna use Stratos into Mask Change. They search for a Dusted Gold. They're gonna summon Hero Blast, which you know, just halves my attack. E-Emergency Call, that's going to bring Shadow Mist, so yeah, you know, it's a classic hero deck, summon 10 trillion things and attack for game, OTK focused, you know. So Faris equips, doesn't it? That's going to resolve, and Shadow Mist effect as well, yeah, so bringing the Vion. Honest Neos, okay, and they're going to use a Dusted Gold, pretty much, I guess, Dark Calling, yep, so they have a Malicious Bane situation going on here, which is, again, one of my favourite cards, you know. So Malicious Bane's going to summon itself. Is it going to use its effect? I can't quite remember, but either way, 3k attack, can't be destroyed by battle, nothing to smirk at. They're going to smack us for 3,200, and then attack into with a weaker monster, which at least lets us protect ourselves with Archfiend Empress, right? And then they only summoned 4 cards, which basically means they have the Millennium Eye, so they just knew I had Nibiru in hand. Anyway, 4 on a Valbaz, which is pretty lucky, straight away into Mirror Jade. So get rid of that Malicious Bane, because there was no way I was killing that otherwise. Get rid of Reinbram, so get rid of the Faris, and then link both of those off into Draglubion for a OTK. So that's going to go into Numeron Dragon. We also recycle our Dark Spirit. I should use this more often. The Draglubion package is really strong, and I have plenty of level 8s to cycle through. So anyway, attack for 9k, unless they've got a Karibo, which of course they don't. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, my name's Adam, and if you didn't, it's Steve, and I'll see you next time.